Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for Grow My Bag TV. Let's break down everything that I broke down or spoke about during the Crypto Minute. So, BRICS. I am paying more and more attention to what BRICS is doing. More importantly, I'm paying more attention to what China is doing. So, China has this plan that they've been enacting over the past 10 years. BRICS is just a part of that plan. What's the plan? To de-dollarize the world, meaning let's move from the dollar over to the Chinese yuan. I know I'm not pronouncing that properly. Sorry about that. But I'm paying attention to that because it's not just an economic shift. Okay? When China enters a country, they take over a whole bunch of things. Obviously they give the country a whole ton of money, help rebuild infrastructure, since that infrastructure is owned by China. Sound familiar? Sound like how other countries do it? Yeah. And there is a term that I have heard used called colonizer. We should be paying attention to everything that China is doing. They're not rewriting a book. They're kind of like following one that has already been written, right? So we should be paying attention in a major fashion because it can affect your finances, affect your investments and everything else. So you want to be knowledgeable about everything that's going on with BRICS. 150 nations considering getting involved. Yeah, think about that, because what could that do to the US dollar? What could that do to the euro? Just saying, we should be paying attention, right? Medico. This was probably one of the best purchases that Ripple could have done, was buying Medico. The reason why is because they're getting in bed with companies like Zodia. Don't know who Zodia is? That's okay. They just handle custodial services for the likes of SBI Holdings, Standard Chartered. And now Medico has gotten in bed with Zodia. Zodia also happens to have a very well-known interchange for institutions, right? So when you look at how all of that starts to play together, I want you to think about what's really going on. Everybody out there on a retail level is thinking about, oh, I don't know about crypto and da da da. Okay, that's fine. But when you see moves like this, you're literally watching the infrastructure for crypto being built. You're literally watching it. You might not be paying attention to it, but it's happening right before your eyes, right? So banks are getting involved, just institutions around the world are looking for cheaper, faster, safer ways to maneuver money from, to pay bills and things like that. And they're turning to crypto. We should be paying serious attention to that. We should be saying to ourselves, yeah, maybe now is a time to get involved, right? I mean, I want you to think about this. You have right now the Swift network in bed with crypto. You have banks doing their own crypto services. You have banks that are not doing their own crypto services, but are getting in business with other companies that can handle those services for them. I'm looking constantly, not just for how I can make money quickly. Those would be like meme coins and just things popping up all over the place. I'm looking for those infrastructure plays. I'm looking for that connective tissue that makes it so that it's basically guaranteed that crypto will be adopted, right? Meaning that people will leverage crypto in the very near future. Think about this. People aren't just buying crypto. They're going to start using crypto. All right. Look at it from a broader perspective. Grand Theft Auto 6. The video was supposed to drop at 9 a.m. today. It dropped earlier. It was leaked. That's a multi-billion-dollar transaction for them. They made multi-billions of dollars off of that franchise over the years. That means gaming is huge. We should all know gaming is huge. Well, Web3 brings gaming. With gaming comes crypto. With gaming comes the metaverse. With the metaverse comes transactions. With the metaverse comes even more AI. The reason why I say this to you is so that you can start to see how all of these things are interconnected. Learn from these things, look at these things, do research on these things, and figure out how you can invest. I don't care whether you're investing in crypto or real estate or digital real estate, or just pay attention to what's actually going on. You might make a couple of bucks. You might make a couple of bucks. What else is going on? So the latest Bitcoin rally, everybody's kind of like, oh, it hasn't moved that much, blah, blah, blah. Can you remember just a few months ago, it was in the teens. It was in the teens. And now we're more than double where we were when it was in the teens. Now we've gone from the 30s, we moved from, up to 30, from the teens to 20, 25, 30, 35, blew through 40, and now we're sitting at 41. We've even touched on 42 a few times. Well, a couple of times. Right? That growth has led toward Robinhood and other companies, other financial institutions, seeing an uptick in deposits for Bitcoin. I think that's something that we should be keying in on. I've been telling you for months, years, there's pent-up energy, positive energy. And we'll see later on where, the fear and greed index is at 75. That's deep greed. That's deep comfort. People are happy with the moves that they're about to make or are making. That increased volume, I think they saw about $1.4 billion in traffic. And then after seeing that $1.4 billion in traffic over November, you're also seeing trading volume happen. That increase happened. And this is preceding what everybody expects to be a slew of Bitcoin spot ETF approvals. BlackRock, Bitwise, a lot of them have already adjusted their S1s to assuage concerns that the SEC had. They're in talks with the SEC to make sure, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, we did this, you need to do that. They're just dotting I's and crossing T's. It's all but guaranteed. It's all but guaranteed. And that's when people are going to start to realize, holy smokes, Bitcoin is scarce. I better get some now. You better hope you're not too late. After Bitcoin, right? Store value. What other coins are out there that people can transact with? What other coins out there have strong use cases? Yes, you can make money from memes. That's great. But what coins out there have strong use cases? Because in the long term, those are going to be the ones that win. Those are going to be the ones that are specializing rather in what will make money, in what will make commerce move, make it happen. So I'm paying attention to those things. In that vein, you've got Progmat. Progmat is a company owned by a few big players like MUFG, SBI Holdings, Mitsui, a few banks, Sumitomo. You have a few banks that are involved in Progmat. But for the most part, MUFG takes the lead. They are the biggest bank holding company in Japan. Might be first or second place in the world, actually. They are now introducing their own stablecoin, a yen-pegged stablecoin, JPYC. Now, the company that's actually going to handle the issuance of that coin, Progmat. Think of them as like Paxos, but it's Progmat. That's going to be huge when you start to think about how Japan gets into the stablecoin space. The more countries that start making the decision on establishing their own stable coins, I think are going to find it's going to be difficult or even dumb to consider, their own, digital coin, right? Because when you start looking around the world, it's kind of like, well, you can think about your CBDC. However, you have all these other things that are already there. Crypto is already there. Crypto is already fulfilling all those things without the government looking over their shoulder, looking over the people's shoulder, saying you can't buy that. It's fattening. I mean, it sounds silly, right? But if there's a fiat that goes digital, here's a CBDC. That's great. That's awesome. But literally, they could say, no, you can't use your account for that. They can stop you from doing that. It's government controlled. They would be able to see everything that you're doing. Not to say that I can't see your transactions on the blockchain, but that doesn't necessarily say what you're doing, right? And although I can see your transactions on the blockchain, it doesn't necessarily say that I can control your transactions. And this is what people are thinking about as they get involved in crypto, as they become a little bit more knowledgeable in crypto. And right now, we're just scratching the surface. We're literally just scratching the surface. I think banks are going to have to rethink what banking is, because people are becoming more and more educated on what they want out of a bank. They're becoming their own banks, because they're not thinking of banks as just, it's just holding money for me. It's what services can I get? What services can I do on my own? People are looking at personal finance and thinking of self-service. Now, yes, some people are saying, I want this company to manage some of my money. That's great. But the rest of my money, I want to do stuff on my own. I want to buy a business. I want to invest in crypto. I want to do this, do that, the other thing. And they're starting to look at their personal finances themselves. And I think a lot of people out there that are, financial advisors are going to have to become a lot more educated on that crypto space. They're going to have to start doing that research and start formulating their own opinions as to what crypto is and how that can fit into a person's portfolio. Because almost everything that you're doing with fiat is kind of what you can do with crypto. So, going to have to start redefining that for what they're going to advise their customers to do, as well as what they want to learn and how they're going to move forward in their space. And those changes are happening. Don't think that I'm saying this and those changes are not happening. They are happening. But I want you to become more educated. I want you to understand what people are speaking to you about. You might not be interested in managing your own finances. You should still be knowledgeable about what somebody is telling you to do or advising you to do. So do your own research. Anyway, that's Eddie J on Crypto for Grow My Bag TV. Don't forget, we have an awesome website, and it's only getting better with your help. Have a good one. Bye-bye.